Welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions video. In this video, you're going to see Dave BNSF N-Scale and myself work very diligently, get the framework built and get the framework put up on my layout. But before we get into that, I have to thank someone who caught a mistake of mine, and yes, I am glad that people do that. Mr. BFU Railroad, I want to thank you so much for catching that mistake that I did. It wasn't a big mistake. The question was in his comment to me on the build for Gary Weiss. He wanted to know, didn't Gary want the overhangs? And I said, overhangs? What are you talking about? Anyhow, I pulled out the instructions and looked, and sure enough, there was overhang. Yeah, and I'll show you what was involved. This little piece right here had to be added on both sides on both sheds. Then the roof had to be put on like this or like that, you know, whatever. But because I custom colored the paint on the roof, I didn't remember what the proportions were. So I had to repaint everything to this color. Anyhow, Mr. BFU Railroad, thank you so much for catching that mistake. I appreciate it. Anyhow, with all that being said, if you guys want to see how me and Dave got all of this work done, stay tuned and watch the video. We'll be right back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. This video is being produced with my new software, DaVinci Resolve 16.3.2. In this video, I'm going to be adding some stuff to it, and the stuff I'm going to be adding is text, and that will be my logo that you will see down in the corner, very, very faintly, by the way. It's like a watermark. I'll be doing the green screen, which is what behind me now. I will be doing a speed ramp. Now, a speed ramp, I didn't know what that meant, but I started looking at time lapse, is what we normally call it when we speed up or slow down the video. They call it speed ramp. So I'll be doing some of that in this video. And also, I will be adding music. So, with all that being said, now let's get on to the video. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions video. I am Vinny, your host, also known as BNSF 6951. This is a model railroad channel. So if you guys are interested in run-up sessions, scratch builds, live streams, prototypes, and everything related to model railroads, this is the channel for you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there, hit the bell that's up there, and give me those too. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with the video, so come on in. This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For all your model railroad needs, check out Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 7% discount with BNSF 6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome street graphics for your roads and streets on your model railroad layout. If you guys are looking for sophisticated model railroad electronics, Logic Rail Technologies has what you need. For a 5% discount on certain items, use code BNSF 6951. Alright guys, we're going to start off this video with showing you some of the material that I have purchased over this last week. Anyhow, what you're looking on the floor right now is a 15-30 thick piece of plywood that's 4 inches wide. That the guy at the Home Depot made a mistake. It's supposed to be 5 inches wide. But anyhow, as you can see, there is a center line down there, and I have 4 of those. And we'll slowly walk out to my garage. This is the hallway, like I said, of train room number 2. And if we look there, that's train room number 1. There's spare bedroom number 2. And as we walk into my garage, you can see the pile of stuff that I have here. I have 10 2x2s, that's going to be for the framework. I have the rest of the plywood, which is 10 inches wide times 3. And then I have a 1x3 that I'll be using for risers. Anyhow, I'm going to take you into the kitchen. Yeah, I'm using my entire house for this layout. And I'm going to turn this around, and we will walk back into my kitchen, or dining area. So you guys are getting a little tour of my house. Straight back is the master bedroom. Now, this is going to be what one side is going to look like. So, this will be that far corner back there. Excuse me, that far corner way back there. And this is what it's going to look like. Now, I have 11 feet on that wall, and I think that this is exactly 11 feet. But I still have to come out this way. So, we're going to have to measure this to make sure it's all going to fit. Anyhow, with all that being said, stay tuned and we will see where we're going to go to next on this video. Be back shortly. Keep the center in here in case I want to put maybe put a town or whatever up in that area. Anyhow, the framework that's going to go under that, you can see the dotted line right here, the red dotted line. That's going to go all the way back to the back wall, and then you'll see another red line going across this way, and in other words, it'll be a rectangular frame that will be 18 inches by 33 inches or whatever, and then the framework will connect to it that goes that way, and the framework will connect to it that goes this way. Anyhow, with all that being said, I'm waiting for Dave to get here. We're going to start working on this. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is a revised piece of plywood that I did. The reason why I did it, first of all, is because, like I said earlier, the guy at the Home Depot screwed up on these guys here. And instead of making it 5 inches, they made 4 inches. But the other circle that I had was made for the 5-inch pieces. So I redid this whole entire piece right here. I'm not really happy with the radius. It's a 14.5-inch radius, but also this gives me a better transition to the S-curve. Now, you can see the gray ruler right there. So the distance from here to here is approximately a little bit over 8 inches. I'm going to make the framework 10 inches. So I have a little bit of room to put some scenery there. The distance between the two tracks is 4 inches. This line here will be the up, and this line here will be the down. So basically, this would be the eastbound traffic, and when it comes around the circle, now it becomes the westbound traffic. Anyhow, follow a little further up, and you can see I got the tape measure there. The entire length of this section right here is going to be 84.5 inches, and then at that end down there will be more framework that goes off that way. Anyhow, let me get set up for the next shot and I'll show you what's going on with that. So we'll be back here in a few minutes. Alright guys, now that is the first piece of framework you see there, right here. And you guys may be saying, well, why didn't I make it the full width of this? Well, I didn't want too much of the framework sticking out over here. This right here, the circle, will fit perfectly over the part of the layout that I have right now without protruding into the aisleway. So this here would be where we're going to start at, and then there'll be framework that comes off this way, so that'll support this side of it. And also, you can see right there is the length that we're going to be. And let me get you in here a little closer, and you can see the ruler right there. That is the length that we're going to make these. That's 84.5 inches from that framework. And like I mentioned earlier, the width of this is going to be 10 inches. This width is 18 inches with very little protrusion over the bottom of the layout underneath it. So anyhow, next thing I'm going to take you out to the training room and show you what Dave and I have accomplished yesterday. So stay tuned, and we'll be back here in a short while. Alright guys, after a second trip to Home Depot, we finally picked up some of the backboards that we forgot to get on the first trip. And as you can see right now, that the entire layout has a backboard all the way down to that wall down there. Now, in case you guys don't know, none of this layout is attached to the wall anywhere. This is a freestanding layout. So in order for us to get this up here, I had enough room between the layout and the wall to get a 1x2 back there. And I'll show you how we accomplish getting this all up there. So stay tuned, let me reposition the camera and we'll be right back. Alright guys, let me show you how we accomplished getting all of that backboard up there that I just showed you. We built this little L girder, as you can see, and I got the 1x2 on the bottom and the 1x3 up here on the top. And what we did was, on top of each one of the beams that are behind the backdrop that I have now, I had about that much room. So this slipped right behind there, which gave me this whole surface right here to attach screws to hold the backboard up. Now there's a couple of places in the where the seams are that I will take a piece of this and just put it down there and screw like that to make the seams a little bit better. Other than that, next thing to do is a little bit of painting. So stay tuned and we'll be back in a little. Alright guys, now that you've seen that I have all the backboard up around the entire room, it's time to prepare for paint. So I'm going to take this 320 grit sanding sponge. I'm just going to knock the shine down on the backboard so the paint will have a little bit better adhesion to the backboard. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So stay tuned and watch me do this. Alright guys and gals, guess what time it is? It's time for paint. I bought this at Home Depot a while back. I was surprised it was actually still pretty good. I do have another jar of this just in case, but this seemed to be pretty liquefied. So with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and start painting everything back there. And as you can see, I have everything masked off around the entire room. Look at that. All the way down to the wall there. Anyhow, with that being said, let me get this ready to go and we'll start painting. Be back shortly. Alright guys, as you can see right now, we have all of the backdrop painted, and I think it looks pretty good. It matches pretty well with the one below it, since it almost came from the same bottle or jar, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, it goes all the way to the end there. And then we have my first mock-up of framework. And I want to show you guys this. Now this is just a mock-up, and there's only one screw holding this up right now. And as you can see, we are pretty level right there. Anyhow, I can't put a clamp on this last piece right here. That's going to be the section that comes out this way, all the way to there. And then I am going to count on the framework going this way to support the outside here. Anyhow, today Dave, BNSF N Scale, is going to come over and we're going to assemble some of these frames and put them in place and see what this is all going to look like. Alright guys, this is the first time I'm doing a voiceover with DaVinci. And so in this clip here, you see what I'm doing is I am adding the splice joints. So when I put this up on the layout, that's one less thing I have to do. Yes, I spent a lot of time on my knees doing this project. We finally got it off the ground and sitting on the layout as we speak. But anyhow, we'll get into that a little later on in the video when I show you what's going on. But anyhow, I'm not going to attach the long boards on there just yet. I'm going to wait till we get this up on the layout and figure out how much cutting needs to get done, because there's still got to be some cutting to be done as far as the length of these boards. Alright guys, what you can see now is I have this splice joint on the circle, not on the straights. Second one is right underneath the drill right there. Actually it's right there, sorry. And then the third one is there. I'm not going to do anything on the straights just yet, because those will have to be measured for length. As you can see, the length down there is going to be different than what it is actually on the floor right here. I do have my curved pieces done down that end. So just a matter of Dave getting here and start putting this framework together. Alright, talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye for now. Alright guys, in this clip here you see Dave and I vigorously working on getting our framework done so we could all hang it on the layout. We're discussing how we're going to do this because none of these boards are straight. It took us about an hour to pick this lumber out at the Home Depot. Really not straight at all. In fact, the first frame I made actually rocked on the floor. So anyhow, we'll see how this is going to go. Now, stupid me, I changed the camera position so you really couldn't see what's going on there. But anyhow, just continuing on, doing our thing, drilling holes, creating reliefs, what do they call it, countersink, and then adding the screws. I'm using like number 8 screws that are 2.5 inches long, and I'm putting 2 in each one of those cross members, and those cross members are 7 inches wide to give me a total width of 10 inches. Anyhow, let's see what else we can get into. Alright guys, what you're looking at is a hard day's work. Dave and I got all of the framework up yesterday and all the way around to here, and that space right there I still have to fill in, and I also put a little bit of a blue backdrop right down there. And I will do the same thing on top of that to try and make it as even as possible. And then also I will try to put a piece right in there so it covers that piece of wood up. Anyhow, check it out. Look at that levelness, baby. Alright. And I'm debating on whether I want to have that circle thing up here or just do it a point to point like it's supposed to be. I'm still thinking about that, but I'm gonna do a little bit of a mock-up here. And more levelness. And more levelness. Excuse me. Anyhow, eventually I want to get rid of these lights. I want to put something up there on the ceiling. Maybe with some spotlights or something. I don't know yet. Anyhow, yeah, so let me put some plywood up on top of these framework and show you what's going to be going on. So stay tuned and we will be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is one of the straight pieces coming out of the room number 1 back there. And this is going to be a 1% or maybe 1.5% grade. I want to raise it up to about an inch here, and then follow it up with another inch there to a final grade, a final elevation of 2 inches back there. Now, what I was saying earlier, let's see if I can get this, sorry about that, where the level is, if I don't put the circle part there and just continue around that way, then I can put a small yard up there and it'd be a point-to-point like this layout's supposed to be. But I don't know if I want the extra runtime by putting the loop in there, because this one here will be the eastbound. The eastbound, yes. And when it goes around the circle and comes back, it'll be heading westbound. So that would be the in and out of Phoenix. So I don't know if I want to do this or not. But anyhow, with all that being said, thanks for watching, and as always, your questions, comments, inputs, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all folks. BNSF 6951 and the Cuz out for now.